am the pampered female supporting character in the Doomsday novel. In order to humiliate the male protagonist, I deliberately ruined the food in my hand. Bad dog. Lick me clean. The hero held my milk-stained fingertips patiently, his whole body tense. Love value plus 10. Me. What do you mean? The system was furious. Idiot. You enjoyed scolding him. Later, I was locked in a golden cage by the male protagonist who pretended to be a pig and ate the tiger, and was punished for my hatred. The man held my ankles and laughed like a mad dog. Miss, try harder. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. Today is the third day of the apocalypse. I bit into the dry bread and it tasted like wax. I can't swallow it at all. The system consoled him. The hero will be back with delicious food soon. You have another fight scene later. Yes. I want to slap the male protagonist. I'm in a book. This is a Doomsday novel for men. And I am the vicious fiancé who bullies the hero Arthur. Not only did she despise him for his lowly birth, she also threatened Arthur to break off the engagement and treated him like a dog. She also deliberately pushed the male protagonist into a pile of zombies and turned around to climb up other strong men. The male protagonist who survived a desperate situation awakened the most incredible devouring ability. He fought back and slapped people in the face all the way to become the leader. According to the plot, this is the time when Arthur is suffering the humiliation in the early stage. He worked hard to collect supplies. The female supporting character wanted ice cream because Arthur didn't bring any back. He slapped him arrogantly. Arthur endured it under the pressure of the supporting actress's elders. Coldly said the classic line, "Don't look down on the young and poor." Christine Benson. If the Benson family hadn't been kind to me, do you think you would be alive today? And now, I am the one who is seeking death. The team collecting supplies returned to the villa. I just looked up and met Arthur's eyes. The man is tall, with broad shoulders and a narrow waist. He stood out among the embarrassed group of people. There was a coldness in his eyes as he looked at me, and his thin lips made him look even colder. This feeling seems to be different from what is described in the book. Strangely, he was just an ordinary male student in the early part of the story. There is no such a strong aura. The system urged. Now, go and humiliate the hero. I plucked up my courage, stopped the male protagonist who was about to return to his room. She tried to glare at him fiercely with her almond-shaped eyes and said in a delicate voice, "Arthur, where's the gelato I wanted?" The man rolled his Adam's apple. He glanced at me casually and said, "No." My right hand was itching to move. The next second, Arthur threw the plastic bag into my arms. But there are iced glutinous rice balls. I was stunned. No, this is not in the original plot. The system opened the script in a hurry. You were too slow in slapping me in the face just now. In the original novel, the hero did bring back glutinous rice cakes, but he was slapped in the face by the supporting actress before he could even open his mouth. Now, you should use your power to humiliate the male protagonist and gain humiliation points from him. My mind went blank, but Arthur snatched the glutinous rice cake away and tore open the bag. He even sneered, "Haha, forget it if you're not used to it. Who allowed you to humiliate me with this kind of common people's food?" An idea suddenly occurred to me. He rushed forward and slapped Arthur, crushing the glutinous rice cake. Then he raised his chin arrogantly and cursed, "Bad dog. Lick me clean." A perfect plan. But I'm afraid of pain. Arthur was really too thick-skinned. The tip of my nose was slightly red, and tears of pain hung on my eyelashes. Little did she know that in the eyes of the male protagonist, it doesn't sound like scolding, but more like acting like a spoiled child. The living room fell into silence. Arthur's friend couldn't stand it anymore. "Miss Christine, this is the end of the world. Not your normal shopping trip." Arthur was almost injured by a zombie hiding behind the door while trying to find ice cream for you. Even a dog should have some dignity. "I lick it." Arthur interrupted. He leaned down and cupped my milk-stained fingertips. He looked humiliated but enduring it. His knees clamped between my thighs and his muscles tense. I always feel like something is wrong. To humiliate Arthur, he kept this position until I felt a warm touch on my fingertips. He sucked really hard, his tongue moving constantly. He even bit my fingertip. When Arthur was about to lick my palm, I pulled my hand away tremblingly. She angrily stepped on his foot and said, "How stupid. Your licking skills are not good at all." After saying these harsh words, I ran back to my room as fast as I could. Ouch! The teeth marks on my fingers hurt so much. It can't be washed off at all. I hid under the quilt and cried. After a while, she wiped away her tears. System. Have I completed my mission? Just now the male protagonist had a forbearing expression and even bit me on purpose to retaliate against me. He must have been humiliated. The system was silent for a moment. A line of words slowly appeared on the public screen. Ding. Love value plus 10. Oh. I asked in confusion. What does this mean? The system was furious. Fool. You beat Arthur up. I looked confused. I don't understand why Arthur is so happy even though he was beaten. The system gave a direct instruction. We are not here to capture him. We are here to humiliate him. For the next mission, you have to act even more vicious and step on the hero. Soon, the opportunity came. At dinner time, I didn't go out to eat. Arthur knocked on the door with the food in hand and apologized insincerely. I'm sorry. I accidentally bit your finger just now. This is the most expensive frozen steak in the supermarket. Please enjoy it. Young lady. In the original plot, the male protagonist only cooked instant noodles for the female supporting role. The supporting female character was so angry that she poured the instant noodle bucket all over the male protagonist. The male protagonist went to the villa swimming pool to take a bath alone and unexpectedly got an opportunity. But now, I can't help but be attracted by the smell of meat. My hungry stomach made a rumbling sound. Throwing away the steak is such a waste. I looked conflicted. The man seemed to chuckle. I was immediately annoyed and said, "What are you laughing at? How dare you hurt me just now? Get down on your knees." Arthur's eyes narrowed slightly. After a moment, he slowly spoke. "Christine, it's not fun if it goes too far. If you offend me, you will not survive even one more day on the last day." Arthur's tone was threatening. As the male protagonist, he has always been very careful. Unfortunately, I am the vicious female supporting role and I cannot understand his deeper meaning behind the scenes. I raised my head like a proud white swan, kicked his knee coquettishly. Come on, I'm the eldest daughter of the Benson family. You and those commoners outside live in my villa, and you dare to disrespect me. Arthur, you owe this to the Benson family. The man groaned. He looked down stiffly and gritted his teeth. No way. Brother, you get hard so easily. Arthur's defense broke. He put the steak heavily on my bedside table, turned around and slammed the door and left. Humiliation value plus 10. Okay. Although I don't know if that sentence touched his sore spot. Now Arthur finally felt humiliated. Just as I was happily preparing to enjoy my steak, the system made a sharp explosion sound. There's something wrong with the plot. If the hero's clothes hadn't been soiled, he wouldn't have gone to the swimming pool, and he would have missed an important opportunity. What should I do? This is not that simple. I swallowed the last bite of beef and smiled confidently. She dripped the soup onto her pure white dress, put on her slippers, and clicked open Arthur's door. Arthur, hurry up and take a bath with me. Arthur's room was dark. He lifted up his clothes, revealing his strong abdominal muscles and the mermaid line that meandered downwards. He was about to unbuckle the belt on his overalls. When he saw me open the door, his brows twitched. Get out. I was completely unaware and was bossing him around. Also, my skirt is dirty. I need you to go to the pool and wash it for me by hand. Arthur, as my fiancé, you can't be so incapable of doing such a small thing. Right. After the apocalypse, the entire city was without water. There is drinking water stored in the villa. But if you want to take a shower or wash clothes, you can only go to the open-air swimming pool outside. In order to save water, others just wiped their bodies with towels. But I am a pampered female supporting role, I said to the system proudly. Well, I humiliated Arthur and led him to the swimming pool. Isn't that impressive? System, are you sure you're not rewarding him? I don't understand. The next second, Arthur lowered his head, lowered his eyebrows and looked submissive. Miss, do you want me to wash your underwear too? Unnecessary, I said angrily, like a cat whose tail was stepped on. After Arthur had boiled some hot water for a bath, he kicked him out. But it didn't take long for me to regret it. The shower area is by the pool. The branches outside the window rustled. The lights above my head were flickering and there was a power shortage. It was like the beginning of a horror movie. According to the plot, The male protagonist will fight with the mutant zombies that suddenly break in. After obtaining the 3rd level crystal core, he successfully used energy to unlock the space and spiritual spring in the ancestral jade pendant. This is also the hero's trump card for counterattack after being pushed into a pile of zombies by the female supporting character. Expect zombies to come. I couldn't help but tremble. Arthur, are you there? No one answered. There was a roar coming from outside the house. I climbed out of the tub in a panic. She didn't even have time to dry her hair. She put on her nightgown and prepared to find a corner to hide. As a result, I accidentally hit my knee and it hurt so much that tears came to my eyes. I almost cried out loud. The stench of zombies was getting closer and closer, and it seemed that it was about to break into the door. I held my breath, but my heart was pounding wildly. When I almost suffocated to death, Arthur walked in carrying a washboard covered in zombie blood and said harmlessly, "My lady, the clothes have been washed. The system is confused. No, I'm a mutant zombie that big." In the original story, the hero had to use the terrain to kill it with great difficulty. But how come it is killed instantly as soon as it shows its head now? I breathed a sigh of relief that I had survived the ordeal. Then she threw herself into Arthur's arms with grievance and buried her tears in his full chest muscles. "Why did you come just now?" "I just finished taking a shower and my body is full of the fragrance of shower gel." Arthur rolled his throat uncomfortably. The evil spirit after the bloodthirstiness gradually subsided. After I stopped crying, he held my calf and asked in a deep voice, "Why is your knee injured?" I'm embarrassed to say that I'm scared. After sobbing for a while, he managed to say, "Why do you care so much? Hurry up and help me get back home. Blow dry my hair." "Oh," I exclaimed quietly. Arthur actually picked me up with one hand. Just as I was about to struggle, the man clamped my waist tightly and said in a low voice, "Don't move. There's zombie blood all over the place." I closed my eyes and lay on his shoulder, quiet as a chicken. After the false alarm, I was exhausted both physically and mentally. I drifted off to sleep as Arthur clumsily blow-dried my hair. The dream was not peaceful. I noticed Arthur was about to leave, so I hugged his arm, sobbing and refusing to let go. The man tooted. His rough fingertips stroked my cheek, and the delicate touch made him pinch it twice, leaving several red marks. "You're so delicate. You are so timid. Who else but me will pamper you in this apocalypse?" Arthur took out the spiritual spring water from the space and applied it to the wound on my knee. The red and swollen scars soon turned smooth as cream. The system has a bad feeling. Sure enough, Arthur looked toward the window and waved his hand. Dozens of vines leaned out. Originally, there would be a wave of zombies invading the villa at night, but now their brains have been pierced. Arthur used his left hand to lull me to sleep, and with his right hand he played with various types of crystal cores, absorbing them all. Devouring a powerful person with superpowers is so terrifying. System sugar-free bread screams, "Oh my god, the hero won't be reborn." When I woke up, the system had gone crazy. The devouring power was awakened after you betrayed the hero. Although his power level is not high now, he uses it too skillfully. It's very wrong. Arthur was wearing an apron and cooking shrimp porridge for me in the kitchen. The feeling of being a husband is full. I asked in confusion. He is still obeying my orders, and he doesn't look like he has been born again. The system sneered, "You asked for shrimp last night, so of course he had to cook it for you. You fell asleep, but your hands were still touching the male protagonist's abdominal muscles. It's scary." I felt guilty. Last night I seemed to dream that I was hungry and reaching out to find something to eat. To be honest, the male lead's abdominal muscles feel pretty good. But after Arthur awakened his devouring power, didn't he become ruthless and vindictive? The more I think about what I've done, the more scared I become. Why am I not dead yet? The humiliation value is immovable. The love value has increased a lot. The system fell into deep thought. Don't worry. The hero is just pretending to be fascinated by you. He has his own rhythm. This must be part of his early forbearance plan. The system told me to stay put and continue following the plot. The next task is to steal the male protagonist's ancestral jade pendant, and use this as a threat to make him work like a slave. This is too difficult. I was thinking so hard that even the shrimp porridge tasted bad. Arthur took the rest of my small bowl and ate it without changing his expression. Also took the casserole back into the space. Everyone at the table was stunned. The male protagonist's brother Dan was drooling with greed. No. Why is the porridge gone? His good friend John asked tentatively. Arthur, have you also awakened your superpowers? Arthur hummed indifferently. Space-related abilities. I have prepared all the supplies. We will set off for Hope Base soon. As expected of the male lead. He is so pretentious. But he used the spoon I had eaten with. I hesitated to speak. Arthur then noticed my gaze and said, Sorry miss, I forgot to prepare extra dishes. Is it okay to use your utensils? He said innocently. The system bluntly exposed. Bullshit. The male protagonist did it on purpose. He couldn't sleep because of your touching in the middle of the night. So he went shopping at the mall. There's everything in the storage space. He even killed all the zombies on the way out of the city. You're a pervert. I was so angry that I was at a loss for words and declared a cold war with Arthur. Wait until night time when he goes to bed. And then secretly steal the male protagonist's jade pendant. Then torture him severely. The off-road vehicle had a smooth journey and stopped in a wasteland on the outskirts of the city before the sun set. Arthur and his friends set up tent nearby for the night. I don't have any special powers. So I just slept in the car. The moonlight was bright and someone was already snoring. I tiptoed out of the car and quietly opened Arthur's tent. He closed his eyes, his long eyelashes casting shadows, and he seemed to be asleep. Arthur, are you asleep? I leaned over and whispered in his ear. When I didn't hear a response, I felt relieved. Prepare to unfasten the secret buckle of the jade pendant around his neck. But I didn't expect this to be a dead end. I should have brought a pair of scissors earlier. I sighed. The tip of my finger accidentally touched his Adam's apple. Arthur, who was fast asleep, grabbed my wrist. He immediately pressed me under him. Are you hungry again at night? Young lady. The desire in his eyes was deep. His gaze fixed on my lips. He also grabbed my hand and placed it on his 8-pack abs, gradually going deeper and deeper, and laughed meaningfully. Now you don't think I'm a pervert. Summer clothes are thin. Arthur's hot body temperature came through unimpeded, as if our skin was touching. I rubbed my calves around in anger. Let me go, he whispered. The wilderness is quiet at night. Arthur's breathing was noticeable. Although there was a tent between us, the noise was too loud and could be heard. I bit my lip and dared not move. Arthur didn't let go. The sound of heavy breathing fell on my earlobe, making it tingle and numb. He said in a low voice, Miss, are you not satisfied with my abdominal muscles? Or, do you have other intentions? My pupils trembled and my almond-shaped eyes widened. It's over. Rather than letting Arthur know that I came here to steal the jade pendant and hate me, it's better to be a greedy girl. I am just not ready. I pretended to be calm and moved my lips towards his. She was ready for Arthur to turn his head away. After all, in the original plot, the male protagonist has always been pure and unselfish. But as soon as I kissed the corner of his mouth, Arthur paused briefly, then quickly followed the tip of my tongue and pried open my teeth. Like a vicious dog, ferocious and fierce, his kiss made me tremble all over and my cheeks felt sore. Her eyes were filled with tears, and she tried to push him away tremblingly. No, no more. I want to go back, Arthur hummed vaguely, as if he hadn't heard. I suddenly felt something wrapped around my ankle. It was thick and raw, and it tried to get under my skirt. I grabbed the corner of the man's clothes tightly and cried out in fear, calling his name incoherently. Arthur, Arthur. He paused and gently kissed the tears from the corners of my eyes. Don't cry. I'll be gentler. I hugged Arthur's arms and said tremblingly, Yes, there is something at the foot. The night was too dark and I couldn't see what it was. Arthur covered my eyes with one hand and with the other he tore away the vines that were clinging to my calves. It's okay. It's just an ordinary mutant plant. He held me in his arms and patted my back soothingly. Don't be afraid, young lady. I will protect you. Just sleep here tonight. The end of the world is truly terrifying. I nodded with tears in my eyes and wrapped my arms around Arthur's neck tightly, drawing a sense of security. For the sake of face, I pretended to be reluctant and said, But you can't kiss randomly. Arthur pressed the tip of his tongue against the roof of his mouth, and after a while, a hoarse sound came out of his throat. After I was exhausted, I didn't care about the narrowness and hardness of the tent. I closed my eyes and fell asleep. In a daze, I seemed to be lying on a soft bed. Someone lifted the hair that was stuck to the collarbone, wiped my sweat with a towel. When I opened my eyes the next day, I found myself wrapped in a thin blanket, nestling in Arthur's arms. The others stared straight ahead, not daring to look back. Woke up. Arthur helped me brush my teeth and wash my face, take out the glutinous mochi cake and warm milk from the space for breakfast. When I looked down, I saw the jade pendant on Arthur's neck. Just remembered that the task seems to be unfinished. The system chuckled and said, "I'm happy again, sister. Last night the male protagonist was afraid that you would have trouble sleeping in the tent, so he brought you back to the space directly, causing my screen to go black the whole night. Do you know how upset I was in the small dark room? He even deliberately used his supernatural powers to scare you. How mean." I wasn't paying attention. Maybe my gaze was too scorching. Arthur took off the jade pendant. "Like this. Just throw it to me to play with." I got the hero's golden finger without any effort. Without being told, Arthur would work like a slave. The system sees the love value jumping all over the screen. I couldn't help but hold my forehead and smile bitterly. "You're screwed. The Cameron family's heirloom jade pendant will only be given to my future wife." The jade pendant in my hand suddenly became very hot. I was just taking a look. Just as I was about to give it back, Arthur held my hand. "Jiao Jiao, do you dislike it?" He lowered his eyes, looking as depressed as a wet stray dog. "But this is all I have to give you. You kissed me, but you don't want to be responsible for me." I was sweating profusely. I didn't even notice that Arthur had broken the rules and didn't call me miss, because I'm about to fall into the arms of the villain. Just when I was in a dilemma, the car shuddered. Dan in the driver's seat coughed. "Arthur, stop pinching me. I'm scared." John next to him stifled a laugh. Forget it. Forget it. This is all part of their play. Roll." Arthur deadpanned as he pulled the center partition shut. He put the jade pendant on me personally and took the opportunity to give me a kiss. My scalp went numb and I quickly covered his mouth, subconsciously looking towards the front seat. "Are you a dog? There are people in the car, Arthur, when no one is around." "No way." I sternly taught Arthur. "If you do this again, I will." I paused and finally came up with a punishment. "I won't kiss you again." Arthur calmed down. "Sorry." There was a faint smile on his lips. But soon I couldn't laugh anymore, because the villain appeared. As we approached Hope Base, the car passed by a large gas station. Arthur and others went to kill zombies and stock up on gasoline. Leave me in the car to eat snacks. Just at this moment, the villain Charlie found me. When he saw my eyes light up, he said lovingly, "Jiao Jiao, I finally found you. I have been worried about you since the end of the world. You must be starving. I have a lot of compressed biscuits here, and they are strawberry flavored. Come with me quickly." Charlie lured me out of the car like he was offering me a treasure. I just spat out a fried chicken bone and was lost in thought as I stared at a palm-sized cookie. No way. I just opened the window to get some fresh air, and I saw the villain. The system has been constantly acquiring love points lately, and it's completely messed up. Seeing the villain, he suddenly became excited. Of course, the plot cannot be changed. The villain is here to poach the hero, and will definitely deal a heavy blow to the hero. Charlie and the supporting actress are childhood sweethearts and are a perfect match. Even before the end of the world, she was disgusted with Arthur, her fiancé who suddenly appeared. But he also wants to maintain his reputation as a gentleman. So he instigated the female supporting character to push Arthur into the pile of zombies so that his hands wouldn't be stained with blood. But the villain is too stingy. I couldn't help but complain. "Won't I starve to death if I follow him?" "That's because the male protagonist has spoiled your taste." The system was furious. "You drink milk tea and eat cake every day. Don't you realize you're fat?" I was horrified. However, in Charlie's eyes, this expression looked as if he had suffered a lot of injustice and was very pitiful. Charlie felt itchy. I was planning to use my supernatural powers to force my car to break in. The next second, a gun was put to his head. "Arthur is back." His eyes were gloomy and his voice seemed to be frozen. "I'll count to 3. Get out of my sight." The villain's lackey cried out in surprise. "Charlie, I'm here to save you." But as soon as he released the fireball, it was extinguished by the water column from the protagonist's brother John. Not to be outdone, Dan condensed iron thorns. "Shit. It's a 3rd-level psychic." Everyone else was shocked. Charlie's face froze for a moment, then quickly returned to normal. "We are all family. Don't get me wrong." He extended his hand and smiled kindly. Arthur. Long time no see. Thank you for taking care of Jiao Jiao. Arthur sneered. Who the hell is your family? Are you worthy of calling me Jiao Jiao? He pulled the trigger and shot Charlie in the hair. There was a bald spot on the villain's head, and the smell of gunpowder was pungent. But there is no bleeding yet, so it's hard to get angry. Arthur dropped some harsh words. If you dare to come over here and flirt with me again, I'll kill you right away. I was stunned, trembling. He asked, System, what will happen if I betray the hero? The system said uncertainly, Do it to your own death. Really, I don't believe it. Because the villain Charlie just left, the hind leg became lame. Hope Base is currently the largest survivor base. Charlie is the captain of the base's superpower team, and this time he came out to collect gasoline. By the way, lead the survivors around us back to the shelter. However, he was seriously injured by the mutated plants and found nothing after breaking into the gas station. Even after being rescued by a healer with special abilities, his leg was still unsteady and he walked in a funny way. I always feel that these vines look a little familiar. The system crashed. Sue the central government. I'm going to sue the central government. How come the villain is already lame before he even starts to commit suicide? He should wait until at least 1,000 chapters later. The culprit restrained his anger. Painting my nails. He is more serious than the people who are putting up film under the overpass. Jiao Jiao, are you scared? Arthur suddenly spoke up. Charlie is not a good guy. I was just a little fierce just now because I was afraid that you would be deceived by him. Arthur poked his eyes secretly. I heard that he has a bad character. You must stay away from him. There is no future with him. Really, the only thing you get from the villains is some unpalatable compressed biscuits. This consumption downgrade is too drastic. The plot fell apart anyway. It's okay if you don't do the mission. I placed my right hand in Arthur's palm and said modestly, Oh, then I'll have sweet and sour pork tonight. Arthur was suddenly excited. He pulled the partition down again and again, then grabbed my hand and kissed it fiercely. However, I underestimated Charlie's determination to poach employees. Arthur went out to use the toilet. Charlie came again in a wheelchair. He looked up at the sky at a 45-degree angle, leaving just the right amount of vulnerability. Christine, Arthur is just relying on the engagement from his elders. He doesn't even kill the superpowers. Zombies use guns, so they can't protect you at all. And my power is level 5. So I'm a perfect match for you. Charlie hinted at the obvious. As long as Arthur dies, we can be together. I was just about to ask him to leave, but I always feel something is wrong. Just when the convoy reached the overpass, a large group of zombies suddenly rushed in from behind, including many terrifying monsters. Screams rang out from all directions, and the scene was a mess of blood and flesh. Many private cars were stuck in the middle of the road and could not continue moving. This is an organized attack, and there are even mental zombies controlling it. If they are not killed in time, it will lead to a disaster. Arthur's expression was serious. Put a black mask on me, covering most of my fair and delicate beauty. Then he told his brothers, Ye Yang, Fengzi, you guys escort her to the big truck sent by the base ahead. I'll cover you. He turned around and rushed into the group of zombies. Arthur suddenly pulled off my mask and gave me a devout kiss on the face. Don't be afraid, young lady. Just wait for me to come back. I was stunned. When we were escorted to the truck and reached the other side of the bridge, Arthur was no longer visible. I don't know when Charlie parked his wheelchair next to me. He commanded the psychics in the car to attack the weak points of the bridge piers. Use physics to cut off the zombies. No. There are so many people behind us and Arthur hasn't gotten on the bus yet. Dan tried his best to stop it. Maybe he's dead. As soon as Charlie finished speaking, Arthur rode his motorcycle at full speed towards the bridge. But he climbed to the edge of the truck and was about to get on. I suddenly reached out and pushed Arthur away. He rolled his eyes and shouted my name in disbelief. Christine. The bridge pier not far away collapsed with a loud bang. Arthur, with the zombies and rubble, fell into a turbulent river. I woke up as if from a dream. The next second, I jumped down with him. I had a dream. In the dream, after I pushed Arthur down, everyone around me subconsciously took a few steps away from me. Dan yelled at me. Why did you push Arthur down? He's always been so good to you, treating you like an ancestor. Why are you treating him like this? It wasn't me. I was speechless and kept crying out of grievance. Charlie stood beside me and gently put his arm around my shoulders. Arthur is dead. So let me be with you from now on. Later, Charlie became the leader of Hope Base. I just found out that Charlie is a 5th level expert with psychic abilities. Charlie has been in poor health since childhood and cannot see the sun on weekdays. After awakening his special powers, he regained his normal physique, but it cannot gain stronger power. He hypnotized me easily, but failed to extract the secret of Song's Pharmaceuticals resurrection drug, locking me in the lab to draw blood over and over again, studying the genes of the Benson family. It turns out to be the so-called zombie virus. He stole the defective products from Benson's experiment and released them on purpose. However, after he kidnapped me, the research made no progress, so Charlie drew all my blood and prepared to use it to create zombies. At the last moment of life, suddenly I saw a familiar figure. He broke through the door and closed my eyes. Prepare for the final showdown with Charlie's zombie horde. I grabbed the corner of his clothes and whispered softly, "Arthur, don't die." I was in a daze, until I heard the system screaming in my head. "Help me. My sister. My only sister. Please don't sleep. Your husband is going crazy out there." My brain was spinning for a long time. Only then did he find himself lying in a dark cave, feeling exhausted. The system says, after I was hypnotized by Charlie. It couldn't remind me. It was not until I completed the planned plot that the restrictions were lifted and my past life memories were transferred to me. Unfortunately, Arthur and I had already jumped into the river. "You don't know how ugly your husband's face is." The system clicked its tongue twice. "He signed a blood contract with the space. As long as you carry the jade pendant, he can come to your side at any time." In the end, not only did you commit suicide with him, but you were also injured. You didn't wake up after soaking in the spiritual spring for several days. If you stay unconscious for a little longer, he will probably kill his way through Hope Base. I pursed my lips. He sat up from the cushion with difficulty, and moved towards the cave entrance bit by bit, holding on to the stone wall. The sunlight outside was blindingly bright, and I was startled as soon as I saw it clearly. Dense vines entwined through the forest, leaving no grass anywhere they pass. This area was full of natural treasures with healing properties. Arthur dug up all the newly blooming baby fruits and threw them into the space to work for him. "See me come out." The vines seemed to have life, rustling and surging towards this side. He waved to me happily. Is this the true form of Arthur's devouring powers? Just when I made up my mind and was about to walk over and touch it, Arthur stood in the background with a blank expression. "Where are you going, young lady?" I took a step back unconsciously. Before I could explain, Arthur ordered the vines to wrap around my ankles and taunted me condescendingly. "Want to find Charlie again? What's so good about that man that you would abandon me for him once or twice, and even want to have a third time? My lady, how do you think I should punish you?" Arthur pressed me against the cold stone wall, put one arm around my waist, held my jaw with the other, and kissed me domineeringly and fiercely. My whole body went limp and I almost suffocated. When I took a moment to catch my breath, my elbow accidentally hit a rock. My eyes were red and tearful, and I pulled at his clothes and said coquettishly, "Arthur, it hurts." The man was silent for a moment. The next second, the system screen of Chigwa went black. "System, no. Is there anything that my noble system cannot see?" I was brought into the space by Arthur. This is the first time I've been here sober. Arthur didn't give me time to appreciate the scenery and went straight to the spiritual spring. I hurriedly hugged Arthur's neck. In the end, he was the only support for me. As the water rose and fell, I could only hear Arthur's comforting words in my haze. "Don't cry. It won't hurt in the spiritual spring." When I woke up again, I found myself trapped in a golden cage. Arthur held my waist and worked hard. There was a hint of hatred in the dullness. I panicked. "He won't let me out forever, will he?" I hurriedly explained. "Arthur, I didn't push you into the zombie pile on purpose. Charlie hypnotized me. If you don't believe me, you can confront him." Arthur didn't know whether he believed it or not, but his hands never stopped moving. I kicked him angrily. "Husband, say something." Arthur froze. His eyes darkened. "What did you just say?" "It's all the system's fault." It made me lose my tongue. Judging from Arthur's expression, he must be even angrier. I struggled to get up. The man grabbed my ankle with his backhand and approached me like a mad dog. "Miss, try harder." I sobbed and cried out. Damn it. The day I walked out of the space. The system is banging its wooden fish like crazy in my head. Do it. Do it. Do it. Once you start doing it, you will be so mad that you will forget about everything and even lose your life. I couldn't help but blush. Arthur bent down to tie my shoelaces and asked, "What's wrong? Can you still walk?" I turned my face away, refusing to answer the question. Arthur, you were born in the year of the dog. Well, I'm the eldest lady's dog. Arthur and I headed to Hope Base. When Charlie was trying to murder the old base commander, he was caught on the spot. All his evil deeds were made public and he died on the spot. He used his mental power to control many people, and their hypnosis was lifted after their death. A list of those who had been hypnotized was also posted on the walls of the base. My name is actually on it. It was Arthur who planned this drama and took all the credit behind it. The system clicked its tongue. Originally, your husband could have used his supernatural powers to hang the villain up and beat him to death. But he had to choose the most troublesome method. Because you were wronged. Only then did I know. Arthur's devouring ability can absorb various types of crystal cores and use this ability as early as in his previous life. He used the psychic system to search Charlie's memory. So the original plot collapsed. Because even if the male protagonist thought you were going to harm him, he just wanted to ask you for an explanation. Besides, he would only know it was a misunderstanding after you died. The system clapped. Good news. He loves it. I feel sad and bitter. On a sunny day, she accepted Arthur's proposal. They were also the first couple to get married in the base. As the most powerful superpower, Arthur took over the position of leader of the base and led everyone to encircle and suppress the zombies. Based on the information left behind, I successfully developed a vaccine to unlock the zombie virus. So far, humans have one, and I am the vicious fiancé who bullies the hero Arthur. After the apocalypse, the city gradually recovered and rebuilt. I lay on Arthur's shoulders and walked with him in the square. Suddenly, I asked curiously, "When did you start to like me?" In the sunset. We held hands. Arthur bent down and kissed me between the brows. A long time ago. Arthur thought back to the first time he met Christine. It was the elder who entrusted him to the Benson family before his death. The two adults were discussing a marriage for their children. The little princess rubbed her eyes sleepily, came out of the room and sat next to him. The girl is as delicate as a porcelain doll. She tilted her head and looked at him. Who are you? As early as the first time I saw you, I fell in love with you at first sight. End of full text.